say hello, hello, what's up? It's me, yeah. I thought I'd call just to let you know that I've been thinking about you and I've been wondering how you doing. Been so long since we've talked, you know. No, I don't mind just listening. I know you got a lot on your mind. Let's talk about it and tell me just the way you feel it. Don't cry, Daddy, come home. Don't cry, it won't be long before you're here, standing right beside me. Yeah, yeah. Don't cry, Daddy, come home. Don't cry, boy, don't be long. Don't take too long before you come and stay with me. Yeah, la 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 da dee da. Yeah, what's up? It's me. Yeah, 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 yeah. I thought I'd call just to say hello. Say hello. What's up? It's me. Is it? Is it? Yeah. I thought I'd call just to let you know that I've been really missing you. I can't wait to see you and hold you in my arms once again, you know. So I'll be right here waiting. I know you got a little more time. Let's talk about it and tell me just the way you feel it. Don't cry, Daddy, come home. Don't cry, it won't be long before you're here. You're standing right beside me, yes you will, yeah. Don't cry, Daddy, come home. Don't cry, boy, don't be long. Don't take too long before you come and stay with me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. La da da dee da. Don't you cry no more. Don't you cry. Don't you cry. No, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. Don't you cry no more. Don't cry, Daddy, come home. Don't cry, it won't be long before you're here. You're standing right beside me. Yes, you can. Daddy, come home. Don't cry, it won't be long. Don't take too long before you come and stay with me. Come on, yeah, Daddy, come home. Don't cry, it won't be long. No, it won't be long. It won't be long. It won't be long. Yeah. Don't cry, Daddy, come home. Don't cry, it won't be long. Don't take too long. Yeah, yeah, yeah. La da 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 da. Don't cry, Daddy, come home. Don't cry, it won't be long before you're here. You're standing right beside me. Yes, you'll stay right here. Daddy, come home. Don't cry, boy, don't be long. Don't take too long. Yeah. Say la da da da. Don't cry, da da da. Daddy, la da da dee da. Don't cry, da dee. It won't be long. You're standing right here. Say la da da dee da. Don't cry, da dee. Daddy, come home. Don't cry, boy, don't be long. Don't take too long. Come on, don't you cry. Hey, what's up? It's me. How you doing, Pine Bluff? And the Delta? Yeah. Here we go. Hey there, my good friend. Tell me what's on your mind. You got that look on your face. It don't look too kind. You said that you're crazy. You're crazy for the loving girl. I thought you two were so tight, but now you're not too sure. Yeah. You said that love it comes and goes, just like the tide. But please don't look to me. I ain't got the answers this time. Crazy love stories. be found. I'm talking about the true love everybody's that, yeah. Sister, sister, what you got in your eye? Could it be teardrops? Who made you cry? Yeah, you said that you just don't understand. How could this love fall apart? Did you just about your man? Who said there's something that you said or that you done? Oh, please don't ask me when it comes to love. I'm not the one. Crazy love stories just turned you around. Crazy love stories, it'll turn you upside down. Crazy love stories just can't be found. I'm talking about the true love everybody's chasing down. Crazy love stories, crazy love stories, crazy love stories, yeah, hey, yeah. Crazy love stories just can't be found. I'm talking about the true love everybody's chasing down, yeah, yeah. Could it be something that you said or that you done? Oh, please don't ask me when it comes to love. I'm not the one. Yeah, the crazy love stories. Sometimes it just turns you around. Crazy love stories. It'll turn you upside down. Crazy love stories. So that just can't be found. I'm talking about the true love everybody's saying now. Crazy love stories. Yeah, yeah. Crazy love stories. Crazy, crazy love stories. Crazy love stories. Yeah. Sometimes it just can't be found. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy love stories. Woo! Hey, Pine Bluff, the Delta. This is Rod Clemmons, and I am with you this evening for my version of the summer sets for Explore Pine Bluff and the Delta. We are celebrating the rich musical cultural heritage of the Delta. And believe me, there is a lot of rich culture. In fact, there's a lot of culture I didn't even know existed, and I was there. But anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun. Bobby Rush was on a couple of weeks ago, and that was great. And there's going to be quite a few more people coming up. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I was born in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I was kind of raised there and kind of not. I was born to my parents. I'm sure so many of you know my dad, Coach H.O. Clemmons, who was the head basketball coach for A&M College in the 60s and early 70s. And then he became the athletic director at UAPB in the 90s until he passed away in 2002. So I'm sure many of you know who he is. My mother was a very prominent educator in the Pine Bluff school system. And so when I was born with congenital glaucoma. So I was born severely visually impaired. So I ended up having to go to a special school. I went to the Arkansas School for the Blind, ASB. And because I know a lot of my ASB peeps are watching. You better be. But so I was there in Little Rock from the time I was about 4 until the time I graduated from high school. So and what I would do is I would go to school on a Sunday evening, and then I would have to stay in a dorm and come back on Friday evening, go home on Friday evenings. So I only had weekends at home. Weekends, of course, holidays, and the summertime. So I wasn't really in Pine Bluff that much. But when I was there, I certainly made the most of it. My sister, and I know she's watching. Yo, what up, Pammy? Pam, how you doing? Oh, anyway, she went to, actually, I think her first year she was there was A&M still. Then it became UAPB. And she was there on a band scholarship. So, and I loved bands. I'm still into ensemble. Bands, orchestras, choral groups, all kinds of stuff. So when if they had football games, weekend football games, when I could go home to the game, she would have somebody come and bring me to the 50-yard line, right on the field, and I would sit there during the halftime show. And I mean, I would just be jumping and bouncing, having a good old time. And everybody else was looking at me like, who in the world is that kid on the 50-yard line? But it was fun. Boy, that brings back a lot of memories. But I really enjoyed that. And I had some teachers from UAPB, Mr. Henry Moore, who is no longer with us. But he was actually my very first piano teacher when I was 3. And I studied with him for a little while before I moved on to other teachers. But it was a great time. It was a great time. My dad, of course, was coaching and traveling a lot, scouting a lot. So there were big chunks of time in the fall that we didn't see each other, because he would be at home during the week when I was going to school, and then I would be at home on the weekends when he was out scouting. But that was pretty much my experience in Pine Bluff. But musically, there was a lot of stuff going on that I actually was not really familiar or aware of at the time. But I'm certainly proud to know about it now. Lots of blues and jazz and gospel performers, either who lived there for a time or they are from there. And I am very honored to take my place with such great musicians who were before me, who are from the Pine Bluff area and the Delta. And I'm just really excited to be able to be a part of this. This next song that I'm going to do, and by the way, that was from my album, What's Up, It's Me. That's my debut contemporary R&B album, Grammy nominated. The first song, the first single, which you have now heard, you saw the video in the front of this show, that became a top 10 single. And we're getting ready to move on to other songs. This next song is a song I wrote for my mother. It was a Mother's Day gift, actually, to her. And I'm so glad that she got the chance to listen and really enjoy it. She passed away about 3 years ago, but I wrote the song quite a bit before that, so she was able to hear it. And we're actually working on a video, and we already started it because I wanted to have some footage with her in it. So she's going to be in it. We should have the video done hopefully in the next maybe month or so, and I'll put it on the Verdict Records YouTube channel. But my mother, she was truly my hero, my champion, my best friend, my confidant. She was right there for me all the time. And just like the first song you saw in the video, that was for my dad, paying homage to him. And this is paying homage to her. It's called She's My Girl. difference for you. I don't know what to do, 'cause you grew up too fast. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah. Do you know just what you wanna do? We right here to see you. Doing nothing in your way, but just keep right on moving. I know you got some limitations, but it doesn't really matter. You can do most anything anyone else can do. This is what she would say to me. She's my girl. She helped me build my world. I don't know what I would do without this special lady. She's my girl. She helped me build my world. I don't know where I would be without this special lady. I know you got some limitations, but it doesn't really matter. I can do most anything. I can be what I want to be, and I'm not afraid to fall. But you taught me how to stand tall. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. She helped me build my world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what I would do. She's my girl. She helped me build my world. And I don't know what I would do without. Yeah, she would get up every morning just to sing the song I way. Be there in the evening just to ask how was our day. Cook our dinner up and over, laughing, talking, playing. Then tuck us in the bed so we can meet another day. Get up every morning working hard throughout the day to give us everything so we can go out on our way. And now we're standing, standing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, well, oh, your breakfast when you're ready soon. Hurry, you've been late for school. Come on, let me tie your shoe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. She's my girl. Yeah, she is. All right, she's my girl. That was the song from my mom. What a beautiful woman. Absolutely beautiful lady she was. Strong. She never allowed me or anybody, for that matter, with any kind of limitation. We all have limitations to one degree or another. Some are more obvious than others, but she never allowed us, and she certainly never allowed me, to use my limitation as an excuse not to be able to do something. So that is the reason why she put me in the school for the blind, which at the time I was there was one of the highest accredited schools in the country, and very proud to be a part of that. But I'm so grateful for my mom and my dad. My dad, both my parents were just amazing people, and I am the independent person that I am right now. But next I'm going to show you the nut that I can be, thanks to my mother. Okay, so Mom just loved hearing me play, which, you know, sometimes she'd go, oh, go there, play the piano for me, play the. Oh, so many times I wanted to go, Mom, go get a record and put it on the stereo and leave me alone. But I would try to dutifully play something, but as I got older, especially when I was going to college, and I went to Indiana University, Jacobs School of Music, and it was very, very intense. So I was a piano major, practicing something like 5, 6 hours a day, and I would have to go home the first summer session because the School of Music was not open until the second summer session. So I would get about 5 weeks off in May before I would go back to school. So I was like, oh, good. I could sit, I could read, I could chill, I could do whatever. And here comes my, there's something on the piano. I'm like, the last thing I want to do is look at a daggone piano. So, and I would say, well, I don't even know what to play, because, we had this little spinet thing in our living room. But when I went to school, all the pianos in every practice room, every teacher studio, everywhere, they were all baby grands. Some of them were concert grands. So I get used to that action. So a little spinet piano just was not working for me. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to play on this piano. I don't know what to play. Child, just play anything. Just play Mama the Little Baby Done Peed. And I would be like, play who did what? And so that was the standing thing, I guess, joke, if you want to call it that. From the time I was, say, 17, 18 years old, all the way to maybe 5 years ago, when I would go and see her in her apartment building. I had a beautiful grand piano in the lobby area. And she would want me to do that. Of course, I've been working as a producer. I've been doing stuff, production work, engineering. So I'm just working with other musicians and guitarists and drummers and doing my own thing keyboard-wise and blah, blah, blah. So it's not like I'm sitting up practicing Chopin and Bach all day long. So, she's like, go play me something. I'm like, And here we go once again. Just play Mama Little Baby Done Peed. And I'm like, are we still doing that? We've been doing this since I am 17, and I am now, well, never mind how old I am, but it's, you get the drift. But finally, I decided now, especially since this is kind of a blues thing, and I don't necessarily speak too terribly well with blues, but I love the blues. But, I trained classically and all that stuff. But I decided to come up with this thing called Mama the Little Baby Done Peed in honor of my mother. So, Faye, this is for you. I know you'll be standing in front of your mansion in heaven, bumping and jumping just like you always did with music, and we're going to try this. Faye, I know you heard that. That one was just for you. So now the whole world has finally heard Mama Little Baby Done Peed. And by the way, you can't take that song, I'm copyrighted. Not that anybody would want to. But anyway, I just thought I would throw that in there. Lord have mercy. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Let's switch gears though. That song is not on my album, by the way. But going back to my album, I did a song. It's actually not mine. It's a remake from an artist that whom I love dearly. Wonderful person, great singer, songwriter, very generous, very kind, very just a great musician, and he is certainly a part of the fabric of American pop music now for well over 50 years, and is still going. I certainly want to be like him when I grow up. And I'm going to do this. I did it on my album, and I was so excited to actually record this. And I'm going to sing it for you now. And I'm not going to announce it. I'm going to see if you know what it is. I'm sure you do. Sunshine, and can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Said I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Carolyn, she is a silver sun. You best walk away and watch her shining. Watch her, watch the morning come. A silver tear appears favorite tunes of all times. James Taylor, I'm sure you figured that out by now. Carolina in My Mind. I had a wonderful singer who did some background work on my album, and the mastering engineer was working on mastering the album, and he was playing that version of my song. I'm sorry, that version of James Taylor's song, my version of James Taylor's song. And the singer was like, "Oh, that was pretty. Where'd you come up with that idea?" I'm like, "I didn't write that. That's James Taylor." She's like, "What?" So we found the original version and played it. She was like, "Oh my gosh!" But you know, she was maybe all 29 or 30. So that would explain why she probably was not familiar with the song at all. She knew James Taylor, of course, but she didn't know that song. But that was I loved. I had so much fun doing that song. I love that. So that's also on my album. And by the way, you can get my album. You can buy downloads of it on all the major download stores, including iTunes.com/Rod Clemmons, and everywhere where downloads are sold. You can also stream it on all major streaming audio platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, YouTube, iHeart, Amazon Alexa, yada yada yada. Did I say Apple Music? Yeah. You may have to ask for it in different ways, depending on what you're listening to. Because sometimes I have to say my name first, and then the name of the album. For example, on Apple Music, but on Google Play, I have to say the name of the album and then my name. Otherwise, it gets completely confused, and it's like I don't have it. So, but anyway, the album, What's Up? It's Me, is available on all of the streaming platform audio sites, all the major download sites, and available as CDs on Amazon.com and any music store, online and conventional. If you go to any conventional store and they don't have it, just ask them to order it, and they can get it for you. So I think you will enjoy it completely. But tonight I'm doing, acoustic songs. The album is fully produced, of course, with drums, bass, guitar, background vocals, and everything else in the kitchen sink. All right. So we're going to move on. What are we moving on to? Here is another song that is also from my album. It's called I Love My Music, and I wrote this song sort of as a kiss my butt, if you will, to the record industry. Because when I first went to New York to try to get a deal, everybody kept saying, "Oh, you're too pop, you're too white, you're not black enough, you're not urban enough, you're not so-and-so." And, I was classically trained, and so sue me, okay? But, so it took me a little while, but I, drowned myself in R&B. And I came up with this song, and it has a little blues flavor to it, if you will. But it just kind of is go somewhere to the record industry. But I don't know that I've ever done this just piano and vocal. But hey, we'll give it a shot, and we'll see what it does. A little black boy was born in Arkansas. At the age of 3, he picked the piano to bed and even walk. And his mama took him to a teacher to show him the right way to play. And then he practice every day. I love my music. I love my music, baby. I love my music. I love my music, baby. I love my music. Amen, and learn a bunch of things like playing keyboard, arranging, and learning how to sing. But then everyone wants to tell him just how he should want to play. Get out of my face. I love my music. right, everybody. I want to thank all of you all for watching me tonight. It's been so much fun, and it's been lots of fun celebrating the revitalization of the great musical cultural heritage of the Delta, and particularly Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You know, speaking of Pine Bluff, I wonder if, because I didn't know this, I wonder if my mother knew that Charles Brown lived in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I don't think he was from there, but I think he lived there for a while. And I mean, I'm sure all of you know Charles Brown. My mother used to play. Oh my gosh, what is it now? I say, bells will be ringing all through the night. Whatever, I don't know the words. There we go. I'll be whatever the heck, I don't know. Anyway, but what was that? Come Home for Christmas. Yeah. She would play Christmas would not be Christmas without that. And all of that, what was that other thing? Yeah. Merry Christmas, baby. You sure did do me right, or treat me right, or something. But anyway, she would listen to those until the cows come home. Every single year. But I had no idea until someone from this organization actually told me that Charles Brown used to live in Pine Bluff. That's really wild. But Pine Bluff has had so much wonderful stuff come out of it, and I am so honored to be a part of a celebration like this. And we've got some other great people coming up in the next few weeks, so please do stay tuned with everything. I got one more tune to do, and I got some peeps here helping me. I got my contemporary gospel artist over here, Mr. Dan Kenna. Say hi, Mr. Dan Kenna.
Hey, everybody.
And he's got his album, From the Heart, that's out right now, also available everywhere. Mr. Noe Felice, who is over here playing, I started to say playing backgrounds and singing guitar. And that ought to be interesting. But playing guitar and singing backgrounds. And this last song is basically a song I wrote to celebrate the presence of God in my life, and also to celebrate the presence of God in all of our lives. It's called Hallelujah. The chorus is real easy. I know that I'm not going to hear you, but if you want, you can certainly join in and sing along. It's real easy. So